Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Balanced Fit and Free podcast. I'm Marie Ann Mullins, your host, and I am so happy that you are here. So, I took a few months off, actually, a little bit longer than I meant to take off for recording the podcast, but I had a lot going on. I hosted the Authentic Awakening Retreat. I finished up another certification. I've been doing a lot of inner work for myself and kind of planning for 2025, actually. So I'm really excited to share some of the stuff that's coming up next year, which is just, a few short weeks away. So, again, so happy to have you here. I really appreciate you coming back. If you have been missing the podcast and you're here, it's finally back. I've been getting emails from a lot of people asking when it was coming back. So, I'm really excited that you're actually interested to hear more. So, here we are, season 4. And this season, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the journey inside. So, balanced, fit, and free. I just want to kind of recap what the purpose of the podcast has been. The Balanced, Fit, and Free podcast was started because I really wanted to share with people that, number one, you don't have to be perfect to be an amazing person, like that perfection is not even true. The second thing is balance and moderation in all things reward all of us. This all or nothing mentality is mostly getting you nowhere. So if you're somebody who's still like dieting and then falling off the diet and starting another one, you are stuck in the all or nothing cycle and you'll end up, back at square one eventually. So I don't love this. And I know deep down that it's possible to break free from this cycle. And then number 3, being a fit person can mean many different things to different people. And the sooner you find what feels best to you, the sooner you'll live from a place of contentment. Because at the end of the day, our happiness is what matters the most. So, I want to offer you some suggestions and information that will help you along the journey of becoming a balanced, fit, and free person. So, of course, I hope that you'll tune in weekly and continue to communicate with me as you listen and learn. I also welcome your comments that, when you disagree with me. I love that actually. I think a healthy debate serves all of us. We all learn. And, on that note, I'm not here to tell you what is wrong and what is right. I'm here to share my experiences, my stories, and information that I find interesting and helpful, and information that I've learned through books, through certifications, through courses, through classes I've taken. So it's not that I'm trying to be a know it all or trying to sway you in any certain way. I just want to share with you how I've become my best self and let you know that you can too. So, not everything I share will apply to you, of course, but I ask that you stay open minded. You never know when a new idea or even an old idea will spark your interest. So, I've been thinking a lot about my coaching practice and what I do. So, I have a couple shifts. Over the past few years, I hired a lot of coaches and I was basically looking outside of myself for answers. I just wanted someone to tell me what to do. And every time I'd hire a coach, they would promise all these things, but yet they would never tell me what to do. And like, why wouldn't anyone just hand me the formula to my business that made me feel good? Why did they just keep asking me a bunch of questions? And I finally realized after thousands and thousands of dollars and hours spent in coaching programs that I didn't really need another coach or another program. I needed to learn how to listen to the answers that were already like in my heart all along. So after I closed the studio, gosh, that's been a long time now, and it's still something I think about. I closed it in 2016. I was really lost because I closed the one thing that I had aspired to do since I was like 15 years old. I wanted a fitness studio. So after I closed the studio, I kind of felt like I no longer had my North Star. Like I didn't know what to do. And I had been following several people who were starting these online fitness businesses. And so I figured it was like the next best thing to do. So I started my online business, hoping that everyone would just follow me there, right? Follow me online. But it's really no surprise that they didn't. I got some new clients, which was awesome from states all over the country, which I thought was really neat and cool that I was able to touch more lives that were not just local to me. And I do still love that. And I did get, some local clients, but most of the people local to me were just kind of waiting for me to do something again local. And I just didn't. I just didn't. So, a lot of people hire me with the same intention that I was hiring business coaches. They want me just to hand them a perfect nutrition plan. And when I ask them a bunch of questions, they sometimes get annoyed and tell me just to give them a plan. This has happened so many times where I'm trying to learn more about the person and they're like, just give me my macros or just tell me how many calories I need. Just tell me what to eat. Just give me a menu. And I try to explain why I don't love doing that, right? The problem is that I know giving them a plan with no guidance and no support towards their deeper self, that this plan won't be done and it will end up in a folder somewhere on their computer, just like the other plans that they've had. And they will go out and find the next coach or the next Weight Watchers or the next best thing. So a couple of years ago, actually, I'm kind of bouncing back to getting coaches, but a couple of years ago, I announced that I was going to be a Hashimoto's thyroid coach. And I even created an entire new website around it. And I did this because someone told me to. A coach said to me, you really need to narrow down your focus. And it makes sense for it to be Hashimoto's because you've, reversed your Hashimoto's symptoms. You understand it, you know it. And yes, in my brain, it made a total sense. And in my mind, I'm like, well, here I'm hiring a coach. I wanted the coach to tell me what to do. She's telling me what to do. So I need to do it because, well, that's why I hired the coach. So I did it. I ripped off the Band-Aid. I changed my Instagram handle, which is not that big of a deal, but I changed it to the Hashi Boss. I thought that was fun and, quirky or whatever. And I redid my website, got new pictures, like the whole thing, jumped in. I was even posting about Hashimoto's. And all of a sudden, I stopped. Again, I just stopped. I stopped promoting it. And the reason I stopped promoting it, and although I can help people still, I absolutely can help somebody with Hashimoto's, but I felt so out of alignment. Here I was like announcing that I was now going to help people with Hashimoto's, but there was this huge part of me that knew I wanted to still help the other people I've been helping, people who wanted to lose weight, people who wanted to get fit, people who just wanted to feel better about themselves. That was my real passion. My real passion is helping people feel good about themselves, to feel good enough, right? And for a long time, this was done teaching fitness. And then I added nutrition and then mindset and now breath work or embodiment. And I realized that all of my learning, my experiences, whether it was good or bad, all led me back to this point. And in the end, all I want is to help people feel better about themselves. But the people I've learned who really like work on their inner health, their internal health, meaning their mental, their emotional, their spiritual, seem to be the ones who really find true contentment in life. It's not a pant size or a number on the scale that creates this true happiness. It's connecting with your true self and allowing that self to be unique and exactly what it desires to be. So, I want to help people meet their true self and then teach them how to honor and nurture their self. Once you clearly know yourself, it makes it so much easier to make the changes that need to be done, done. So, I tell you all that because I do believe people need coaches. I do believe people need support, but I think we need to use that support and coaching as support and not as somebody telling you what to do. So yes, I'm a coach, and yes, I still would like to help people, but I don't want to give answers to people. I want to guide them based on what they desire inside to help them get there, right? And just like I still seek out coaches, I'm in a new program for people that are wanting to work with people on their inner health. So I'm now aligned with the right kind of coach versus just any kind of coach. A lot of the coaches I was hiring were just about money, and I found out that, of course, you run a business to make money, but I found that I really needed a coach that was going to help me find my passion and purpose, not just make money. And so once I found the right alignment with the right coaching program, I've been able to open back up. I've been able to listen to my intuition, listen to what I really, really want. And now I'm able to create the business and or coaching offerings that feel really aligned and good to me. So just like when I work with somebody, I don't want to work with somebody who only wants a quick fix. And that's hard because almost everybody wants a quick fix, right? Almost everybody, if they want to lose weight, they want to lose weight now. But I need to work with people who understand that it's a process. I need to work with people who understand that if I help you lose weight fast, it's probably not going to stay off. I want to work with people who understand that doing it the right way might be longer and slower process, but it's going to be better in the end. So I'm still offering, in case you're wondering, fitness sessions, which I still love. I have my strength membership, which is open for enrollment. I still offer nutrition coaching, but I've also added this breathwork tool that is helping me with people with their nutrition and their fitness to really find out deep down what they need to do, right? I love to teach people how to listen inside closely to find what really matters because it all goes together so beautifully. So I imagine our wellness like a big wheel. Imagine a big circle, and at the end of each spoke, you have the main areas of wellness. There's fitness, there's food, there's friends, family, fun, and finances. Okay. Those are all really important areas of our wellness. So, whatever you do most of the time creates forward motion with your wheel. And it just rolls and rolls and rolls. And it almost becomes automatic. It is automatic once you have habits. Okay. So your focus, your behaviors, and your habits can either be helpful or unhelpful. So whatever you choose will lead the way. So when you're unhappy with where your wheel is taking you, then it's really important to find a way to interrupt the momentum and change directions or slow the wheel. I kind of imagine it like a big bike wheel, and you're like stick a stick in the spokes to stop the wheel. So I remember my stepbrothers doing this to each other, and it's not pretty when the the bike flips and the person flies off the bike. But it's an interruption that we're looking for. So, what do I mean by when you are unhappy with where your wheel is taking you? Okay, so if we're on this wheel of wellness and it's rolling forward and you're unhappy with maybe you're gaining weight or not losing weight or you're not getting any sleep, or maybe you're adding more prescriptions, right? Because you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, or maybe your relationship is suffering, or maybe you're no longer fulfilled in your job. Whatever area of life you're feeling unhappy with will impact all of the areas of your wellness. Okay. So when it comes to your health, whether you need to lose weight, lower cholesterol, whatever, reduce blood sugar, build muscle, or whatever physical goal, you need to interrupt the wheel somewhere, somehow. So I feel like you have a couple of choices. You can either do something with your diet, you can change something with your exercise, or you can choose to start with your mind. No matter what you choose, something has to change, right? You need to put the stick in the spokes. You've got to create change, create a disruption to the current behavioral pattern. So the problem with starting from the outside or starting with a physical change like diet or a new fitness program or medication the problem is that without letting that filter internally, you will likely fall back to old habits and patterns. So, like I said, something has to change. Any change needs to happen. But I believe deeply that once you make the change, you need to also embody the change. You've got to make it a part of you. So, what do I mean by that? Well, have you ever started a new diet on New Year's Day with the hope to finally lose the weight that you've always wanted to lose? You start strong, you change your diet, you start working out, you're drinking your water, and then about 5 days in, you start to slip a little. Or maybe you have more willpower and make it longer. Maybe it's like a whole week or 2 weeks before you start to see yourself slipping back to old behaviors. The reason we start to fall back to old behavior is because we are only relying on willpower and not allowing our entire system and soul in on the process. So, when we can truly learn to listen to our body and intuition, we're more likely to make the changes that are more appropriate for ourselves. We're able to create a behavior change instead of arm wrestling ourselves into a diet and exercise that we hate. Okay. And I have to tell you, I think a lot of people start a diet or a program and they already don't believe they're going to achieve it, or they already believe it won't work. And if you already don't believe it's not going to work, then it's not going to work. And you can lie to yourself and you can go through the motions, but until you believe it deep in your soul or do it the way you need to deep in your soul, you're going to just end up coming back right where you started. Okay. So, as we all know, here's a little side note. But as we all know, many people are taking weight loss drugs to help the process. And guess what? I'm all for it until I'm not. So I 100% agree that some people really need help with hormones, and taking a GLP-1 medication like Ozempic can be absolutely life-changing for some people. It's absolutely amazing. But if the person is not also making lifestyle changes and working on their behaviors and habits, they will not be able to stop the medication. So to me, this is just another version of being in the dieting cycle. It's chemically creating willpower instead of lifestyle change. Now, I'm in total agreement for someone to do the medication if they're willing to also work on their habit changes. Or if somebody like needs the medication for diabetes or other health conditions, like I'm totally for it. But for weight loss only, the problem with that is that, again, a lot of people are only using it to lose the weight without actually changing their behaviors. And I do believe it can be used as a jump start. And if done correctly, you can wean yourself off of the medication and rely on your new habits and behaviors. So if you can't stop the medication because you just don't trust yourself, that means you've not fully shifted your lifestyle or your behaviors. So this might make people mad at me, but I believe in it. I believe that there's no point in doing the medication unless you're going to also work on mental, your mental state, your habits, like what you're eating, how you're eating, why you're eating. It's all super important. Okay. So again, that's just my opinion about that. And I could be totally wrong because I'm not taking it. I'm now working with several people who are taking it, and I'm just watching the behaviors. And those who are also shifting their lifestyle habits are having greater results and also feel better. And, hopefully we'll be able to get off of it, not because it's bad to be on it, but because it's expensive, and it's just another expense in your life that maybe you don't need if you could just be working on your habits as well. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about what working from the inside out looks like. So, I'm talking about, I said there was kind of a problem with making behavior change if you start on the outside, like with your diet or your exercise first, that it doesn't always work. So what do I mean? What do I think will work? So I think that it's easier to make a change when you start with your own behaviors and your true self. So I think the first step in making change is understanding your true why. Like, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to be healthier? Why does it even matter? Is it for you or is it for someone else? This step may take some time, because a lot of people don't know why. A lot of people um, just think they need to lose weight because that's what everybody else is doing, right? Or some people want to get healthier because their doctor told them to, but they feel healthy already and they don't really care. It's hard to get healthy if you already feel healthy. It's hard to get healthy or to lose weight when someone else is telling you to do it and you haven't made that decision yourself. So this, like I said, this step can take a lot of time, and I think it's worth taking your time here. Once you know your why and what your true self desires and needs, then the rest will not be difficult. Many people think that they need to look a certain way or be a certain way based on what they've seen around them growing up or what they've been taught or simply from watching thousands of commercials about weight loss or anti-aging products, right? This isn't about weight loss actually, but I have a story. You would be surprised at how many people comment on my decision to let my gray hair grow out. So yes, I know it's going to make me look older. And I'm not really sure why anyone cares what my hair looks like. I mean, they don't have to wear my hair. They don't have to look at me if it bothers them, right? Only my opinion matters. It's my hair, my choice. So I did ask my husband's opinion and he's all for it. But honestly, even if he was against it, I wouldn't allow his opinion to change mine. I will always consider his opinion, but in the end, I have to choose for me what is best for me. And you know what? I hope you listening to this right now know that you too can make your own choices and decisions based on what you desire to. Okay. So, anyway, after you know your why, then you need to look at what you're already doing well and be honest with yourself because I promise you're already doing some really good habits and behaviors. It's best to find those and build upon what you're already doing well, like what you're already good at. A lot of our resistance to change comes from the thought that we have to be perfect or that it has to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard, right? That too is a choice. If you think it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard. If you don't think it's going to be hard, it's not going to be hard. It's all in what you decide to make it. Then, while you're working on a single habit, let's say, you've discovered your true why and why it matters. You've assessed your current behaviors, and then you pick one area that you know you're not doing so great at. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe you're like, all right, I need to start, doing some exercise. So while you're working on that one single habit, learn how to listen to what your body needs. Your body knows exactly what it needs. Unfortunately, we spend more time listening to like random Instagram stars than to what our body has to say. To find out what your body needs, you have to be present in your body. You will learn hunger signals, when you need movement, when you need rest, when you need to be around different people. You will get all the information that you need inside of you. And it's just a knowing. But if you don't listen, you won't know. So here's an example. So the other night, I was hanging out by myself. My husband was sick and had gone to bed. It was like 6:30 p.m. It was already dark. I was wide awake and didn't want to go to bed yet. So I started thinking about what kind of food I had in the pantry. We had already eaten dinner and I definitely wasn't hungry. But I was really debating if I wanted salty or sweet. And then all of a sudden I stopped and I said out loud, Ryan, what do you really need right now? I took a deep breath, I closed my eyes, and I just listened. At first, I still thought that I wanted a treat or snack. But after a few more deep breaths, I realized that I didn't want food. I wanted comfort. I was lonely and bored. So once I realized this, I knew immediately that eating a snack was not going to fill that void. I mean, eating food was not going to make me feel more comfort, and it was not going to make me more like, less lonely, and it was not going to take away my boredom, except for maybe a few minutes while I was eating, right? So I did not go into the kitchen. I texted a friend and we texted back and forth for a few minutes. And just that little interruption in that moment of like wanting to go eat when really I needed something else, it gave me enough comfort and it stopped the need to go get that snack that I'd never needed in the first place. So imagine the impact that can have. Imagine if you started listening to what you really need. The amount of snacks and alcohol that you consume could reduce a lot, right? And just that, like reducing your snacks at night or during the day when you're bored or upset or whatever your feeling is, if you could stop that and reduce also the amount of alcohol you drink at night or on the weekends, you'll automatically reduce the amount of calories that you're consuming, which might be all you need to start losing weight. Or or maybe that's all you need to start balancing your blood sugar or reducing your cholesterol, whatever your thing that you need. You don't need a quick fix plan or a drug. You have the answer and the drug inside of you. It's already there. You just have to be willing to listen and pay attention to you. So, how can I help you as a coach? Well, I'll tell you what, I have a few services. I like to say eat, move, breathe, because those are the three services I provide. I provide nutrition, which is the eat, nutrition coaching. It could be one-on-one. I'm currently running a program, the Holiday Challenge. So that's a group coaching nutrition plan. But also, I do my strength training program, which is the movement piece. And along with that, I also give advice, throughout that membership about, other workouts and how to get in walking and all of that. So that is all part of it. And then the breathe part is breath work. So all of these different pieces, the nutrition coaching, the fitness coaching, and the breath work can all be done individually or as a packaged deal. So really determining what you need just needs to start with a phone call. And I offer a 30-minute free consultation. And what we do is, we just chat and I find out what it is you need, like what it is you desire. And then I'll ask you some more questions to help you really find out what you want. Just like I was talking about earlier, you know, just thinking you need a nutrition plan or thinking that you need a new fitness plan or just, thinking that doing something like that's all you need. Well, like I said earlier, I don't think it's all we need. So what I do is I start that consultation with just a bunch of questions to learn more about you and find out, if I'm a good fit for you, if my services are a good match. And if they are, then I will suggest to you, the package that I recommend. And we'll, of course, check your budget, check your time availability, and come up with something that matches what you need. And the really exciting news is in January, I'm going to be starting a group program that includes all of my services. It's going to include group nutrition coaching, the fitness membership, and weekly breathwork sessions. So I'm very excited. I will have lots of information coming out about that soon. So that will be a great way to learn more about yourself, because the goal really of the breathwork is to help you meet your inner self. And once you do that and you do it weekly and you really get in the practice of breath work and listening to yourself, then the nutrition and the strength training and the movement piece becomes so much easier to do. So I hope that you'll check that out. But in the meantime, I'm really excited to be back hosting this podcast. So each week we'll have a new episode come out. And I'm also posting these on YouTube. So if you'd rather like turn on YouTube while you're at work, that's great. Or you can always listen on the apps as well. So thanks again. And I look forward to catching you next week. Bye.